In this video, we're going to talk about time management for procrastinators. Okay, I know the procrastinators get a lot of rap. Listen, I am a recovering perfectionist and procrastinator myself, and I have had to learn how to not only adjust my mindset, but to work with how my brain works. No matter what, you still have to get work done. And so this video is specifically for people who find themselves waiting to the last minute. Maybe you get very anxious when you're starting a new project or overwhelmed throughout your day, and so you tend to push your tasks to the back. I am going to help you to be more productive and to work in a way that will be effective for you. So when you're looking to overcome procrastination, the first thing that I want you to do is to reduce the items on your to-do list. First of all, if you don't have a written to-do list, that could be one of the reasons why you're procrastinating anyway, because you're just running around with a mental list and you feel like you've got a good handle on it, but what's really happening is you're spending more time thinking about what you need to do than actually doing what you need to do. And just by having a simple list, and it structures out your day and allows you to be a lot more focused. Now, specifically, I recommend starting with the hardest task first and keeping your to-do list no more than 2 to 3 items. When you are structuring out your to-do list, make sure you have one high priority task. These are the things that are going to take you the longest. Again, when you are a recovering procrastinator, you tend to avoid the things that you know are going to take you the longest, the things that are going to make you uncomfortable, or even the things that you feel unqualified to do. So in order to maximize on your productivity, I recommend doing those things first thing in the morning. So whether you work a 9 to 5, allow that first task to be the thing that's probably going to take you the longest. And I say this because we only have but so much energy and mental capacity for focused work during certain hours, and it tends to be the morning. And so why would you waste your energy scrolling through your emails, collecting all this information, when you could just be getting that one big thing done and out the way? Again, our brains are wired to avoid uncomfortable things, but by facing it head on, you'll actually begin to have that momentum for the rest of your week and even the rest of your day. And you'll feel a bigger sense of accomplishment knowing that you spent your time actually doing something productive. So instead of avoiding the hard tasks, get them done the first part of your day. Now, the reason why I said to reduce your to-do list is because, again, sometimes when we see too much on our list, on our plate, we can get very overwhelmed and start to kind of pull back. But if you limit your to-do list really to like 2 items, one high priority task and then one low priority tasks take about anywhere from like less than 20 minutes, I would say. Those could be considered bonus tasks, where if you finish your high priority task and you have some extra time, you can go ahead and do those things. But your day wouldn't have been wasted because you started with the hardest thing first. So again, make sure that you are creating a to-do list, preferably the night before, or plan out your week in advance, and then reduce the amount of items on that list. Now, things like chores and errands and things, those are okay to add to your list because sometimes they don't take as long, but I'm talking about specifically when you're working on certain tasks. Make sure that you keep those things to 2 to 3 items and start with the hardest thing first. Now, the next thing that you can do to overcome procrastination is to start working in timed sessions. So a lot of times we think that things are going to take longer than they are, and that's what kind of keeps us from even starting the task. But I want you to start working in either 15-minute or 25-minute work intervals. I do this through an app called Toggle. Toggle is a free app that allows me to track my productivity. So when I start a new task, I can just put it in and it'll automatically start tracking how long it takes. Or it has a built-in Pomodoro timer, which breaks things up in 25 minutes. And something about having one specific task that I'm focusing on in a small amount of time, it reduces all of that anxiety and that pressure to try to get it all done at once. Instead, I'm just focusing on putting my focus and energy in one time block. And start to do these, especially when you're working on your hardest task. Let the first 25 minutes of your work or 15 minutes be dedicated to that one task. And you will find by coupling seeing that timer go down and also being able to have that focus-free distraction work for a minimum of 15 minutes, that you'll actually be making a lot more progress. If you don't want to use the Toggle app, you can simply Google like countdown timer, put it on your phone or your screen while you're working. You can get a physical timer and let that thing continue to help you to be in those intervals. Something that I didn't mention that helps with working in the time work sessions and especially focusing on one thing is when you do your to-do list, being specific about breaking down those high priority tasks so that they're not so overwhelming. That way, during your work interval sessions, you're able to focus on a micro task to help you get to that goal. For example, if I'm building a website, the first thing I need to do is to write down the vision and make sure that I have an idea of where I'm going. The longer that I delay that initial planning process, the longer it's going to take me to build a website. So I like to, as soon as I get a new brief in for a website, I like to actually build out what I'm going to do, write it down and make a plan. Then I've gotten rid of all of this fear of the unknown or fear of what I'm going to do, and I have a practical plan in place. For you, figure out the part of whatever project that you need to do that makes you feel uncomfortable and do that thing first. Just start with that preliminary steps and that way you have some momentum. It's a lot easier to actually finish a project when you have some of the work already done because it doesn't feel like such a huge mountain. Say if you have 100 steps to climb and you've started walking 20 steps, it's gonna feel a lot easier to walk the rest of the 80 instead of starting from 0 steps. So take the time to just do 15 minutes of starting that project. Another way that you can overcome procrastination is to reduce the amount of time that you give yourself to do something. When you're building out your to-do list, just estimate about how much time it's going to take you to do it and then cut that time in half. This will allow you to have this kind of mental pressure that happens when you procrastinate on something. Like, I know I'm not alone in this. Sometimes the reason why we procrastinate is number one, we know that we will be able to get it done in that short amount of time. And also by having it wait to the last minute, we reduce the amount of overthinking that we'll do because we have to get it done. So take that same method and apply it to the front end of your project. If you estimate that a project is going to take you about 3 hours, challenge yourself to get it done in 1.5 hours and really just see how much you can get done from there. This is something that has been a game changer for me because I know sometimes when I'm uncomfortable, I'll give myself a lot more time to do something than I really need, and all I end up doing is waiting to the last minute anyway. So I really reduce the amount of time that it's going to take me, and I try to start it as soon as I get it. At least 15 minutes working on it, and it'll reduce a lot of that. So just to recap, again, these are time management tips for procrastinators specifically. The first thing that you're going to do is to reduce the amount of items on your to-do list. Stop having a long list of 12 items that you know that you're not going to be able to get done. It decreases your motivation and you're more likely to do nothing because you're overwhelmed. Try to stick to 2 to 3 items, one high priority that's going to take you a little bit longer, and then one low priority task that's going to take you about less than 20 minutes. All of your personal tasks and errands, those are fine to add on, but focus on those core items. The second thing, do your hardest task in the morning. Work in those time blocks of either 15-minute or 20-minute intervals and use all of the energy that you have to apply it to that hardest thing. You will find that the rest of your day will go a lot smoother, and in the parts of your day where you get more tired or distracted, at least you would have gotten something accomplished that was integral to your day. And again, try adding a time work session. Make sure that you have a physical timer, whether it's like a clock or a stopwatch, or you can use your phone and set that timer and watch it go down. There's something about seeing time goes down that triggers something in our brain to work more efficiently. Again, Toggle is a great app to do this, or you can just Google countdown timer or use the timer on your phone, but make sure that you can see it along with the rest of your work. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. If it was, definitely hit the like button and be sure to subscribe. And I will talk to you guys on the next one.